You don't need an art style to be an artist. In fact, I strongly believe that if you want to be in the industry or even just do freelance and commissions, you need to be able to be completely flexible with the style you draw in. Hello, my little trash pile. I'm Dawn, and these are the reasons why I believe that having an art style can actually hurt your art in the long run. Now, before I get started, I will say that having an art style is not bad. It's actually very good to learn how to be consistent within a style. But not only is it good to experiment with different styles, using different styles for different projects you may be doing is a good idea as well. For example, the style I use for my comic, big pieces, sketches, and the style that I made for the illustrations in my book, which you can buy, are all different and distinct in their own way. Being able to have multiple different styles is actually a fantastic help if you want to end up working in a company that has several artists working on in one style. Of course, you don't plan to be in the industry or anything like that, then having a distinct style is perfectly fine. Having a distinct style can help you gain followers on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, since people typically follow for your art style. And then think about what you actually draw afterwards. But thinking about going into the industry, it's quite literally the opposite. Only being able to draw one way will not help you get any jobs drawing for other people. Unless you're Butch Hartman. This is also why it is good to have a small grasp on anatomy. If you know the right anatomy, you will be able to change your style more easily just by exaggerating certain parts and making different ways to draw those things. But if you don't really have a grasp on this, then it might look a little bit awkward and you might be stuck in the exact same way to draw things because it's the only way that you know how to draw those things. And you don't know the basic anatomy, you just know how to draw it. But of course, as you draw more, these things become more natural. I find that since I started my comic last year, my anatomy, design skills, and expressions have all advanced more than before. I also suggest that you switch styles to draw in that. I also suggest that when you switch styles, you draw in that style for about a week before you get a full grasp on that style. But eventually this will become more natural and you'll be able to switch styles more easily, and even be able to draw in two styles simultaneously. I have a superhero comic that's planned where each of the characters have a different style. I have a superhero comic planned where each comic series for each superhero has a different style, as well as each comic character that does or will have a comic will be in the style of their comic, no matter what comic they appear in. Which means that there will be distinct different styles within different comics to make an interesting look. Of course, drawing in different styles for different projects isn't entirely difficult, since once you start drawing certain characters a certain way, it'll be the only way that you know how to draw those characters, and it'll be the same for other projects. It's more muscle memory than anything, honestly. Let's come up with some more examples. Take into account just how many animators would have to work on a TV show at one time. Typically, a small team works on one episode while other teams work on other episodes. Regardless, all of the teams have to draw in the same style. And there's your Steven Universe, and each studio has a different model sheet for some reason. Either way, even if those studios have different character models, every single studio is drawing the same style based off of that model sheet in the same exact way. Another example is the movie The Mitchells and the Machines. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which is 100% my favorite movie. In this movie, despite the fact that it is 3D animated, there are all splashes of 2D animated effects. Not to mention, the movie itself has a very distinct style. But since they're models, it's not as hard as the 2D animation is. The 2D animations are meant to mimic Katie's style, to bring her world in that way that she thinks and sees the world to life. So they had to change their art style to fit her art style, to tailor to this idea. but it made the movie much more interesting and fun to watch. Anyway, if you want to have an art style, then that's wonderful, but having an art style isn't necessary, nor is it always helpful. Just draw how you want, and don't worry if it's consistent until you think that it's necessary to be consistent. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, how about subscribing? And if you are subscribed, then enjoy. And if you are subscribed and enjoy me, then how about you check out my other channels? If you like this video, then you can like the video, and then you can also go into the description and check out my comic and my book. I'm also posting more to Instagram, and I'll be linked down there as well. Thank you guys so much. I love you all, and I'll see you